more than likely. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so now we're recording. And if anybody pops into, so I've got this chat here. So if I'm talking or something, you want to ask a question and you don't want to interrupt me, you can like just put something in the chat and I'll get to it later. But really, this is kind of informal. This is just basically for you guys to ask me questions. So do y'all have any questions or concerns or anything about what's going on, or?
Not really. Like, I get like everything that's going on. Your emails are pretty informative.
Okay, cool. Okay.
Yeah, I don't have anything about what's going on the school-wise, but I am having to start completely over on my paper.
Yeah, because you were talking to me there.
The new article.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Let me kind of go over. Shucks. Hold on. This is my first time doing this, so bear with me. Because I realized that I have to like present something. Okay. Okay. Can you see the schedule if I upload it like this? Does it show? Okay.
Yeah.
Chase, can you see the schedule?
Yeah, I can see it now.
Okay, cool. All right. I'm playing around with this. I'm making sure it looks good. Okay, yeah. So this can change. I put this in place kind of similar to how I've been doing the class. I've been teaching online all semester, but if it doesn't work for us, it doesn't work for us, and I'll kind of change it. But I wanted something in place to where we had some type of structure, some type of availability, some type of idea of what's going on. So like the peer review is going to be this week, and I have the deadline set for Sunday. If there are lots of issues, if everybody's struggling, I will extend that deadline. So it's there. If everybody's or most people are doing well, have a great essay, going on, I'll keep that there. But if most people are struggling and need to rewrite something, I won't extend it for a full week, but I might give a few extra days or something just to kind of help you out. So it's there, but I can extend it if needed. And then I made these videos I have on Blackboard. Were you able to find those okay?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So that's good. What's that, Chase?
Did you send them through the email too?
Will I send them through the email? I can.
No, that's fine if you didn't. I didn't know if those were the same videos.
So the videos I sent you last night, I sent the whole class, they are not the same videos that I have up here. So
okay.
The videos I have on Blackboard and I have on the schedule are videos that kind of moving forward. So like this one for essay number 3, it's similar. It's a shortened version of if we had a class period that day of what I would hand out and talk about in class. Same with the annotated bibliography. So these are technically like 4 videos, but combined, it's very similar information that I would talk to you in class. Probably this day, whatever day I would have originally scheduled it. Right? So you're getting that same information. The videos I emailed you were stuff we talked about before spring break. So in case you forgot.
Okay. And so peer review, is that on Sunday or?
So peer review is going to start tonight/tomorrow morning. So I have here email peer review drafts. And if you can't get 3 pages, that's fine. Do the best you can. Just if you get, 2 pages, that's cool as well. But yeah, so you'll email your drafts to me tonight. And then tomorrow morning, I will put those peer review drafts together, the groups, depending on how many people send me an essay. And then ideally by Thursday night, finishing those. And if stuff gets in the way, if you guys need more time, we can extend that till Friday night and extend the essay due another day. This is just kind of giving you a few days to finish the peer review, and then also having a few days to take those comments into consideration for your paper.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm gonna be honest and say I haven't started my essay yet. I've done research on the article,
Okay.
but I haven't gotten it written yet. And
Okay.
I've been meaning to do that.
Do you think you'll have the ability to get a draft to me tonight or tomorrow morning or something?
Yes.
Okay. And honestly, I usually wake up lately. Since I'm basically quarantined. I went out to the grocery store today, but I've been home most days. I'm kind of waking up around like 7:30, 8 o'clock. So I'll probably wake up, eat breakfast, and put that together around, between 8 and 9, maybe 9:30. So if you said, even if you're like somebody who likes to stay up late and you email at me, like even if it's a little bit past midnight, that's fine. I'm not gonna get to it till a little bit like earlier in the morning. I'm gonna be honest about that. But do either of you have questions about the schedule or anything?
No.
Schedule's pretty straightforward.
Are we doing this at like a regular time for each week?
Yeah. So I'm gonna try to send an email out every Monday, just kind of copy and pasting that week. That's what I do for my class that's been online all semester. But I have here I'm gonna put. I think I may have already put this up there. An essay number 3 example, and you'll do something similar what we did in the class, just kind of like writing a page talking about what you would tell your peer. They have a few other videos. We'll have the invention number 3 due. I have these extra credit. There's going to be 3 of them. I have a video about that, so if you want to go watch that, you can do that. But the first one's going to be, Sunday, April 19th. I'm going to give access to everybody once most people sign up for that, and for 3 weeks straight, they'll be there. So feel free to do that or not if you want to. And then we'll have. Do we have 2 peer reviews? We're going to have 2 peer reviews for essay 3. If this peer review doesn't work well, what I might do is maybe like one essay be one week be like conferences, like schedule face-to-face conferences with everybody, and another week peer review. But I'm just going to kind of see how this one works out this week and play it by ear, because I have no idea how good or bad everything's going to go. Just kind of experimenting here, because this is all new for all of us. And then, yeah, so I would suggest keeping this schedule near you. It's on Blackboard under the schedules tab, under the syllabus tab. So downloading it, keeping track so you can know long-term where we're going, what's due, think ahead about those ideas. Because I'll send an email every Monday what's happening that week, but then you can kind of see long-term due dates. Because this essay number 3 final draft, that's going to be due the 10th no matter what. I'm not going to be able to push that back. And then the portfolio, I have no idea what Jeffco is doing about final tests or when scheduling is. So this might change depending on when we're supposed to have stuff due. I'll figure that out later. And then, hold on. Let me see if I can talk to you about something else. Okay. Let me do this. There. Okay. So you should be able to see my window with the peer review and everything.
It's loading.
It's slowly. Okay, I'll wait a second. Is Diana here? Oh, I know Diana's not here. Okay. So within Google Drive, so when I get everybody into groups, I'll email everybody tomorrow when that's ready. I have a video on this, but just so you can kind of follow along with me, once you log in your Jeffco, which is called My Jeffco, you'll click on this little tab called Google Drive. It's right by email and Blackboard. And then I don't know where this will look. I actually will email everybody that you're in the group. And so for me, I click on share drives, and I have a ton of these because I've taught so many classes online so far. But like I'll have it labeled this F2F. If you ever see me label anything, it means face-to-face. And basically, so I don't get you guys and my online class mixed up, even though we're not face-to-face anymore. But what will happen is it'll kind of look something like this. Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah. Chase, you're
Yeah.
good? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what I'll do is I'll put in your guys' essays. I'll just copy and paste them here. So I'll label it like Chase's essay or person, whoever you are. I'll put it there. So I'll put people in groups of either 3 essays or 4, just like we would do in the classroom. And you are going to read the essays of everybody else. So I'll have, either 3 essays or 4 essays. And it's Google Drive. So Kaylee, I know you're like so excited about this because you are on top of Google Drive peer reviewing.
I am. I even mentioned something like this last time we did peer review.
I know. I was like, Kaylee's going to be so excited that we're doing peer review like this. Because this is what I was envisioning last time. This is how I do it for my online class. But I have these little documents. I'll have these little documents up there, and they're basically the peer review kind of guidelines or questions that I would give to you in the classroom. Anyway, and I'll have up here, actually, I think I clicked on the wrong one. Hold on. Where's the one I wanted to? Yeah, this is the one I wanted to do. And what I'll do is I'll have like author and reader. And so, say you both were in the same group. I would put like the author is Chase and the reader is Kaylee. So I would label it like Kaylee reading Chase. And what this would mean is that Kaylee would be filling this out for Chase's essay. And so when Chase gets back on later and looks, and you can see exactly which peer review question sheet is for you. So you'll want to go on after it's all done and say, okay, I want to see the question sheet for mine after everything. And when you have an essay, you say this is somebody's paper, you can like leave a little comment and, say whatever and be as specific as possible. And as it's going along, I'll kind of leave some comments on there. I'll kind of try to guide you along a little bit as well. And so you can do that. So you'll fill out the question sheet, plus go to the actual essay and make comments kind of as you see. So this can be, if there's a thesis, if something needs to be more specific, if there's grammar, whatever it might be, you can kind of comment on that as needed. But all these questions you should fill out for everybody in your group, plus look at all their essays. And this is why, like, if we need an extension for Friday, we can do that. I'm just going to kind of play it by ear and see where everybody's at. So that's what we'll be doing this week. And then once everybody's done with everything, you'll log on, look at the feedback, and then revise accordingly afterwards. So this is really just a rough draft. So even if you send a shitty rough draft, that's cool. At least you're starting with something. It's fine. Just starting somewhere. Because we spent a lot of time before spring break kind of going over this, but I know with the extended spring break, it kind of hindered our groove a lot. It wasn't really helpful for anybody. And then I'll kind of get this away. So this would be like person 2. Does that make sense for you guys? You guys have any questions about peer review?
Yeah. No.
Yeah, I think I'm good.
Okay. I don't.
Yeah, my main problem is, as you know, like literally right before this whole pandemic or whatever started, I was literally talking about trying to get on track with my stuff, and then boom.
Yeah, this was a little bit bad timing for a lot of people. I wish it wouldn't have happened at all, but yeah, it was very, very crazy. And I'm definitely going to be understanding for anybody, like if you have to work or like if you work in a hospital or customer service or anything like that. Because I'm actually have the luxury of being able to stay at home. I know a lot of people don't. So if anybody, needs to have an extension on something, just let me know and I'll kind of talk to you about it one-on-one. Or if I need to have an extension for the whole class, we're really just playing by ear right now. We're going to still do everything. I might, grade it a little bit differently. I might extend a due date. I might reduce some of the activities or assignments we were going to be doing. But we've actually submitted most of the stuff we've done so far. Like the only things that for grades that we have to submit right now are essay number 2, invention number 3, invention number 4, and essay number 3. Like there's only 4 assignments that are due for a grade. Most of the stuff we've done has actually already been submitted. So that's good, I guess. But later on in the semester, I will give, I don't know when it will be. I'm just going to, I almost forgot to do this, but I'll give everybody the opportunity to redo one of the complex book entries, just like I said I would before. We got the 30 points extra credit. So, log on to there. If you need to, I'm just trying to kind of go over everything that anybody might have a question on. So like if you got on Blackboard, where am I? Under the assignments tab. Come on, internet. If you go all the way down to the bottom and no red ink, you can log on there. It'll ask you to kind of sign up for stuff. I already have mine, but it'll have you to sign up and join. And then once most people or everybody are kind of signed up, I can give you access to it, because the problem is if somebody joins after I give access to everybody, then I have to do you manually one by one, and it can be a little bit annoying. But so I'm trying to make it as easy as possible on myself, so I can maybe make that a little bit easier. Trying to think about what else to talk about. Yeah, all the assignment sheets are currently on here. The portfolio, I'm going to make a video about that later once I know the due dates. But that's just going to be you being able to revise any papers. So even if the essay number 2 isn't exactly what you wanted, you'll be able to revise it later in the semester as well. So you can do that. But I'll just keep that there for now. But yeah, I made a mistake with my other class too. So I had some people who couldn't access the DocX with their like Chromebooks or whatever. So I have PDFs as well. So if DocX isn't working for you, you can upload it as a PDF too. I just learned that. But everything else is here, like readings. I have them up here as well too. So if you need to go back and look at the essay number 2 example, I think we did that like the week before we left for spring break, the last time I saw all of you. So if you want to go back and look at the example, I also have a rough draft up here, which is not great. But if you kind of wanted to look at it to see what a rough draft looked like that needed more work, you could do that as well. Don't look at the essay number 3 example, because this paper and the next paper are very different. So don't look at the essay 3 example for essay 2. So look at these, and you can look at them as well. I don't know. Do you all have any other questions? I'm just like.
So for essay 2, I know we're writing about an article.
Yes.
And so the main idea is to like look into like the argument, right, of the article. All right. And then we want to make sure that we have our works cited page and everything.
Yeah, so you're going to be having citing the article and then citing 2 outside sources. And if like you can't find 2 outside sources, just let me know and I can help you, or if I can kind of talk about that as needed. But yeah, so you'll look at the argument, but more importantly, you're looking at how the article is persuading an audience. So like if like an article's audience was like, I'm going to steal what you said, Kaylee, about parents or something. I think you said your article, one of those parents. You would be analyzing how that article influenced or made an audience feel in some way, or made them think. And that could definitely be an argument. So if they're making an argument about, I don't know, how people should be handling coronavirus, then how is that going to be persuading that audience specifically? So don't make it everybody, but it could, yeah. So they could be informing, they could, make people scared. I mean, I feel like this is very relative at this moment because there's so much news. I mean, in the past 5-6 years, there's already way more news than there used to be. But right now in this moment, there's like just way more overload of news. I have to actually set my phone aside at night so I don't get anxiety from all the news.
Oh yeah, I don't get any news. I like it that way.
So I
just got an alert put to my phone 20 minutes ago about how Illinois needs medical employees.
Yep, I got that
me.
too. I'm not a medical professional, so I can't help with that, but I can stay home. So there's just so much stuff. And so I already have a few people from my online class writing about news articles from about the coronavirus. And so you don't have to write about that. Please don't if you don't want to, for sure. But there's just, I mean, some articles are sharing inaccurate information. Like I heard one time, if you hold your breath for 10 minutes, then you don't have it, which is completely false.
10 seconds.
Yeah, if you hold your breath for 10 seconds, then you don't have coronavirus, which is completely false information. Yet it spread online, and then everybody was like, "Oh, I don't have this."
If your lungs have fibrosis in it.
Oh, okay.
It's a way to check your lungs have fibrosis. If you hold your breath for 10 seconds without coughing, you're like there's no way of damage to your lungs or something.
Right. But it doesn't necessarily mean you don't have coronavirus. It just means your lungs are gonna be okay, I guess, for that moment. But yeah, but there, I mean, it's interesting to see the range of information from like people who are doctors, from people who just, are have opinions of their own and think that this is what it is. But I want the people who are giving me information about health to be somebody who is experienced with health, whether that be the CDC or doctor or like somebody who's like the head of a hospital. I want it to be somebody like that. So if I'm reading a news article and none of those types of people are quoted or listed or anything, that makes me think that I don't trust that source. And so
kind of like that guy that was writing that we did, I think it was the last class we had.
Yeah.
He was basically mainly sports and stuff. He was writing about like suicide.
Right. Yeah. About like the Walmart. I think it was something to do with one of the shootings. Or something. Yeah. So looking at the author. So if you're reading a news article about coronavirus and the author could be somebody who is a journalist who writes articles about health or science or something. They might not be a doctor themselves, but maybe they have done research or journalism on that topic. And then the people they're citing are going to be experts in that field. And so hopefully, but if it's like Joe Schmo off the street, or if it's like if it's, I don't know, somebody who has absolutely no expertise in what they're talking about and they give this opinion, that's dangerous because then so many people could believe that, but they have no expertise in doing that. So it's really important to be able to look at the article from a rhetorical lens, meaning how is it actually persuading you or persuading the audience. You might not be part of that audience, but persuading somebody. And so you don't have to talk about all of this stuff in your paper. You're going to have a thesis, and that centralized thesis will talk about something to do with it. It could talk about how the audience is persuaded emotionally. It could talk about how the audience trusts or does not trust. It could talk about a variety of different aspects. As I emailed you all last night, the invention number 2 is a great way to kind of look at your observations and seeing what do I notice and what do I not notice. But then for the rest of the paper, you should be supporting that thesis. So what's relevant? So if you're talking about how the audience, doesn't trust this author because of whatever reason you come up with, you shouldn't, by the second page or the second paragraph, shouldn't veer off and start talking about how they're afraid. And so setting up your thesis, and I like the way I like to kind of talk about this in conferences is pretend you're on a road trip, and you can even pretend this is a road trip pre-pandemic times. You're going on a road, say you're starting in St. Louis and you're going to New York. And about halfway through, you veer off and go to Florida. If your paper halfway through steers away from your original thesis and starts talking about something completely different, that would be like that road trip. You want to stay on track. You want to stay on the course that you kind of originally planned out. And if through writing the paper, if your course changes or your thesis changes, just go back up and change the thesis. And that's what you can do. It's not set in stone. We're not in the Flintstones. You can change however you needed. But you do want to have a thesis or a claim that makes a argument about how the article is persuading somebody, and then support that throughout the paper. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Yesterday, I made it my goal to start working on my paper, and I made it to the article, and that's about as far as I got. 'Cause there is a lot to look for.
There is. What kind of article did you find?
I found one. It's titled "As Life Moves Online and Older Generation Faces a Digital Divide."
Okay.
It's like talking about how like the elderly who aren't so, I guess, tech savvy are struggling more in this sort of like this quarantine time. They can't really make connections with other people.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, and I've even been thinking about people who can't, like elderly people who don't understand technology or can't, like my grandmas can't probably video chat with anybody, but also people in like rural areas who just don't have connection, like internet connection, or computers of their own. That's also a problem. But yeah, they can't talk to anybody. I feel like it's kind of, I get stir crazy just sitting at home not talking to anybody but my boyfriend and my cat. I'm like, I need somebody else to talk to, which means they might get a little bit lonelier. Yeah. And so maybe the audience of that article, it might be people who are older, but it also might be people who are a little bit younger. And I haven't read the article, so I'm just speculating. Could be people who are younger to get them to think about how this is all affecting somebody who might be older and doesn't have the technology skills of somebody who might be a little bit younger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very difficult to find an article that's not talking about the coronavirus right now.
Yeah. And also you guys have a 10-year like period. And so if you wanted to go back to like 2010 or 2015, doesn't have to be very current, doesn't have to be right now. But if you go on any news website, it's more than likely going to be talking about that. So, yeah. I mean, yeah, you don't have to talk about the coronavirus at all. I mean, Kaylee, I think you found one from a few years ago. I already forgot what it was about. So, yeah, you found one about a few years ago.
It was about arming teachers and schools.
Right. Yeah, that wasn't even a hot topic that long ago, and it seems like it was already 10 years ago, which is a little bit mind-boggling to me. Yeah, so I mean, yeah, it doesn't have to have anything to do with the coronavirus. It can be up to 10 years old. So you don't want to go back to like 2000 or 2005, but it can be anywhere between like 2010 and 2020. That doesn't mean you should pick another news article, but if anybody is really tired and done reading about this and it's driving them a little bit, stir crazy or anxious or whatever reason, feel free to read about something completely different that has nothing to do. So you might have to go back to like 2019, 2018, a little bit maybe further back to find something that has nothing to do with anything we've been talking about. But of course, yeah, you can talk about whatever you want. But main thing is what's very difficult about all this is that you're not making an argument. Your argument has nothing to do with what the article's about. It's all about how it's persuading an audience. That's what it's all going to be about. So you can put your like note card or like a post-it note on your computer or something and say like, how is this persuading an audience or something? And once you have a thesis, you can put that thesis on a post-it note on your computer and say, and kind of remind yourself. You don't have to do that, but it can help remind you of what kind of path you're going to try to go on with your paper. Any other questions or anything?
About like, so I don't exactly know how to go back, like farther dates on news, like websites. 'Cause I had to check the news. Actually, when I went to look for the article, that was the first time I've ever been on Washington Post or New York Times.
Really?
Yeah, I don't check the news like ever.
You're probably a lot less anxious than maybe the entire rest of the world. Let me bring this up here. So, one tactic you can do is maybe like search for a specific event or topic you could talk about. Like, you found one about like technology. So like I'm gonna actually go. You said you did Washington Post.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna go here and I'm just gonna technology, and I think if I put in 2019, I'm not sure if that'll work, but I'm gonna try. No, it didn't work. I was gonna try and set a date. Or if I do like technology.
If you go on all sides, they have like certain topics you can do. Like you can choose from certain topics, or you can search for your own topic, and it doesn't just do current ones. Like it does like fairly recently. That's where I found mine, and I only had to look through like 2 pages worth of stuff, and mine's from 2018.
That was my next strategy. So yeah, so allsides.com. I think I mentioned in class before. That was probably like a month ago. So yeah, so if you do like technology, I think you can have topics too.
Yeah, I forgot about all sides.
Yeah, I actually didn't know about it until last semester. So let's see. So yeah, there's if you go to allsides.com and there's a little thing called topics. And here I think are like probably the more popular ones, but there's a whole list on the right-hand side. And so if I'm trying to get to technology, like just for example, technology, it'll say like news from the left, news from the center, news to the right. Because these little L's and R's and C, they show how how it's leaning. So you don't have to find one in the center. I would suggest not finding one that's far left in the dark blue or far right in the dark red. If you find L or R, I would suggest finding one like on the light side. But that would be probably my suggestion. So
yeah, I remember you talking about that in class.
There's stuff about Netflix. Netflix viewers way up. Coronavirus, hate groups, coronavirus, Apple. Holy cow. Bill Gates leaves Microsoft. So yeah, there's probably, if you've gone down far enough, you could probably find something not related to it. Like you could also, some are probably going to talk about it more than others. Like if you go to health, it's probably going to be all about the coronavirus. But if you, I don't know, banking and finance might actually talk about that a little bit. So like all of the, fake news is definitely going to talk about that. But some of these are probably going to talk about it more than others. But I'm also wondering if I can set a date in there. Latest news. Okay, never mind. I was going to try to find. See, I'm not going to lie. This was so much easier before all of this started happening because there's now just a bombardment of everything. I should just put in. I'm just looking here. I have no idea if this is going to work or not. Celebrities who tested positive for everything has something to do with coronavirus.
It's hard. It's like everything they're trying to they incorporate it somehow.
You look at extreme weather. I'm just gonna. What coronavirus could teach us about the climate crisis? There's something about that. Yeah.
Even the weather is talking about the virus.
Even the what?
Even the weather is talking about the virus.
Yeah. The difference here is there's only one, but still there's. Yeah.
I don't think you can go to one like web page without seeing something about the coronavirus.
Yeah, it's crazy. But I have found, like, I'm trying to think if I have something on my, like, okay, that wouldn't work. I think the best bet might be to think about maybe a specific event and maybe Google that. So I'm trying to think what has happened before all this went on, because my mind is just, like, I don't know, like the Las Vegas shooting or something. That's not something you have to talk about, but if you look that up, you're gonna find articles. Like if I go to this one, CBS, it's gonna be from probably around the time that happened. So this one's, from 2019. I think that's way after that occurred, but it still has nothing to do about the coronavirus. Or if you know about like a certain situation or another event that happened, or even just generally like gun violence, or I don't know, whatever it is that you want to put in, I think now the best idea is just going to to put something in the search that's going to not definitely have been before 2020 started, because this started coming up in the news at the beginning of the year, but it's been the past month or so where it's just been a high quantity of it. So I would say that would probably be the best bet if you don't want something to talk about coronavirus. If you can't think of anything that's happened there, you could even say like list of events that occurred from 2010 to 2019. So if you want to like inspiration of what that is, you can maybe look at something that's major events that happened, kind of get some inspiration. And then you could go to the news article and find that, or even go to like the Washington Post or the New York Times and then search for that event. I think that would probably be the best scenario if you didn't want to write about it. Any other questions? I'm hoping this is helpful.
Yeah, I not really at the moment. Other than I need to get myself
you need to get your what?
My work going.
Yeah. I mean, you hopefully have tonight available. Kayla, did you have any other questions or anything?
I don't think so. If I come up with anything, I'll message you on Hangouts, but I don't think so.
Yeah. So I have another. I have a one-on-one conference with somebody at my other school at 4:30. So if you message me or anything, I probably will get back to you later. It does alert my phone that you sent me a message on Google Hangouts. So that's kind of cool that I know it happened and I don't have to like wait forever. I am trying to kind of gain my sanity and cut myself off at a certain time. So usually around like 5:30 or 6, I stop checking email. I stop checking everything just for my own, my own mental health. Because last week I was not doing a good job of that. I was going a little bit too crazy. So that doesn't mean like last night when you emailed me, I emailed you back because it was definitely super important. But so I would say that doesn't mean I'm not going to email you. That means if you email me like later in the evening, most days I'm probably going to get back to you the next morning. Okay. So keep that in mind too.
I mean, I don't even expect like anyone to email me back like early. One, because I don't get notifications sometimes for my email, so I have to actually go check it in order for me to see.
Can you connect your email on your phone?
Yeah, it is on my phone, but it just doesn't notify me sometimes.
Oh, okay. So what I had to do, I have an email app, and if you can do this if you want, but I usually go to my apps. I forgot how I did it, but it tells me I have a Google Android, so I don't know if you have like something else. But
Yeah.
I go to my apps, and then it asks me if you want notifications or not. And then if I want to have consistent notifications, I click it. And if I don't, I just turn it off. So I've turned that off for my emails right now. So later, because I'm actively at my computer from the majority of the day. I'm checking, even if I'm not here all the time, I'm actively checking it. And then in the evening, I just kind of, go do my own thing. I make dinner and whatever. So I kind of check out. Because I'm at home all the time and I don't want to like consistently always do something, but I will definitely email you back in a timely manner. It might be the next morning. Like I said, I'm usually sitting at my computer somewhere around 9 or 10 first thing in the morning, not first thing in the morning, but usually 9 or 10 o'clock. And then I can, do whatever I need to do. I answer emails and then I put people in peer review groups or whatever it is. So if you ever have a question, you can do that through email. Do you know how to get to Google Meets?
Yes.
Okay. That can also be an option, again, if you want to have a longer conversation.
I have it on my phone right now.
That can also be good because if you're not getting notifications from email, if I have anything for the whole class, I'm going to put it as an announcement and I'm going to email everybody. So if you need to, let me actually show you one more thing because I have till 4, but like if you go to the announcements page, if like I did this because somebody might have a form of emails from other people. The college usually sends out a lot of emails too, but all the emails I sent you since last week are up here on announcements. So if you forget something that I said, if you didn't able to check your email, you can kind of look on here too. So if you have like the Blackboard app, or if it's easier to access Blackboard than email. I'm not going to do this if I email one person individually, but when I email the entire class, I'm going to do this. So that'll be a little bit easier, I guess. Hopefully. Okay. Stop. I didn't even share it. Oh, I was trying to show you what that was, but I didn't show it on your screen. Oh well. Any other questions or anything?
No.
No, I think I'm good.
Okay. I'm really sad a few other people were here. So, did you two, I know Chase you did, because I think I got like, I don't know if this time and day will work for everybody, because I like had that survey for the class, and I got so many.
The survey didn't let me like do anything.
What's that?
The survey wouldn't let me like click on it or anything.
Yeah, that's really weird. I don't know why that is. But I got you and 5 other people, and everybody's was very conflicting. Like some people said the day, some people said the evening, some people said Monday, some people said Thursday. And I'm like, 3 out of 6 people said were available within this time. So that's half. So I figured that was good enough. So otherwise it's like one person.
Now, I am definitely not one to be getting up like super early, but wouldn't it be like beneficial to have it during like the normal class time, or like the second class at least? It's like not as early.
If the morning works for people, I can definitely have it on there. I originally asked the survey because I didn't think many people would come to an 8 o'clock conference or office hours. So I didn't think. I know that's the original class time. If it works for everybody to do the normal class time, I will definitely do that. So if do you want me to have it at like 8 or 9 or something?
It really doesn't bother me much because like I can get up then.
Okay. I mean, I'm up at 8, so like if we did it, I don't know, 8:30 to 9:30 or 9 to 10 or something like that. We could do that. I can change this. There's no, I have, the only restriction I have is that I'm doing office hours with my other school on Thursday evenings. so I don't want it Thursday evenings. But if it's like a Monday or Wednesday, in the morning, that works too. I really don't care when we do it. The thing I care about most is that it's accessible to everybody, all of you. So
my schedule is pretty open.
What was that?
My schedule is pretty open for the most part.
Okay. Yeah, so I can next week, because I'm only gonna do this 1 hour a week for everybody. So if I could do it a Monday or a Wednesday. Nobody really said Monday, so I might do it Wednesday. That might help a little bit better. It's middle of the week. You guys get a chance to do some work, figure things out, figure out if you do have any questions. So I don't know, Wednesday, 8:30 to 9:30 work for you both?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
My toddler might be here, but yeah.
My cat might be running around crazy, but that's fine. I'll just shut the door. So yeah, I might do it. I might alert everybody.
I can shut her in a closet.
Yeah. Well, right now my cat's sleeping on the bed, so I didn't think, he's usually sleeping around this time, but it's fine. He kind of does whatever he wants. He's very happy that I'm home. But yeah, I can do it next Wednesday, or if that doesn't work, then the following week works a little bit better, I can change it to that. But no matter what, I'm going to be recording these and putting them up on Blackboard. So if anybody can't be here for whatever, or decides not to show up, I'm not really planning this. I'm just kind of going with the flow, figuring out what questions you all have. And then if anything, if I need to change something, I can.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll plan next Wednesday, 8:30 to 9:30. I'll kind of alert everybody, and I'll try to make that like a weekly schedule. So we're always going to have an hour a week to do this.
Yeah, and I can definitely make that. I can't really sleep in if I want to. Like, the latest I'll ever sleep in is about 8:30.
Yeah. I've been having trouble sleeping later because I don't have anything to go to. So my issue has been waking up earlier. Sometimes I'm not asleep till 2:00 in the morning because my brain won't shut off. Yeah. So I'm trying to have some type of schedule. And if it's only one day of the week, it's only 8:30, 9:30. And if somebody doesn't want to show up at 8:30, if they just want to show up at 9 and be there for half an hour, that's cool too. Really, it's just very informal. Just kind of trying to make sure everybody's on the same page.
Yeah.
Essentially. Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead. It's weird. I can't wake up early, but I also can't sleep in late. I'm at the worst time of where I normally wake up.
Yeah. Are you at home too? Do you have to work at all, or are you home for the most part? Are you home at all? Are you home all the time?
Yeah. Yeah. No. We teach a class at our martial arts school. We're doing that on Zoom. That's actually tonight.
Okay.
I still have work occasionally whenever.
Gotcha. So
you can work for me because we do carpentry. So
you can stay home overall.
Yeah, we've been shut down for about 3 weeks.
Yeah, I'm home.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's hard because when you're at home, there's this perception of I have all the time in the world. But for Kaylee, you have a child at home, anybody who's had multiple classes and you have to do work for all that, it actually becomes a little bit harder because you have to put out the work to structure your day on your own. So you have to really set your time and say, you have to become a homeschooled student without ever asking to be, which I don't know how I would do that. So I'm having trouble.
Yeah, this is definitely not ideal.
Yeah, I wish more than anything in the world we were at school. I really do wish. This is nothing wonderful about the situation in our world. I really wish we could go back to school, but I kind of thought
it's definitely a lot harder to sit down and do this with my daughter, being her.
Right. Right. Versus when you go to school, you know, you're dropping her off at the babysitter, and then you get that time by yourself.
Well, you kind of have no choice but to, like, listen to your teacher and do
Yeah.
what you're supposed to.
Yeah. That's kind of why I wanted these meetings, just for a little bit of structure. Just to kind of hear my voice, because I know sometimes reading it off the page. It's also why I did the videos, because sometimes, you know, if you need to listen to me say explain something, you can do that. The difference is you can't ask a question and me respond directly. But also, if anybody ever needs to have a one-on-one conference like this, you can schedule that too. Let me know outside of the, you know, these virtual office hours. I would be more than happy to do that if anybody is confused or needs extra help. I'm not going to require them, but if anybody needs more help and wants that structure of just talking to me, I will be more than happy to do that as well.
Yeah.
Okay. We've been talking for almost an hour. I think that's a little bit mind-boggling.
Oh, wow.
Any other questions you all have? I have nothing else to talk about.
I don't think so.
I'm good.
I'm sure I'll have questions.
Okay, well, if you ever have any other questions, of course, I know both of you are really good, but if anybody else watches this recording, you know, feel free to email me, video chat, Google Meet, which is this. I guess I'm talking about Google Hangouts. Anything at all, I'll be more than happy to talk to y'all. I'm gonna do whatever I can, just try to help us get through this weird time, and try to make the best of the situation. So I can do whatever. It's just trying to help us all kind of move along in the semester. But anyway, I'm gonna probably, unless anybody has any other questions or anything, I'll probably make sure there's nobody put this in. No, kind of end this, because it was still 4, but nobody else logged on. If you forget anything, what I'm going to do, what's really cool about this is when I log off and end the recording after a few minutes, depending on how long it is, ends up automatically being emailed to me. So I can just automatically put that on Blackboard, and I'll get it captioned for anybody who needs it captioned. And then anybody else can watch this and kind of listen to me answer questions or talk about anything. But okay, yeah, I'll probably let y'all go and just work on the paper tonight. So send it to me tonight, early tomorrow morning. I'll get y'all in peer review groups. And then what I'll do is I'll just send you an email saying you are in a specific group. And then you can kind of start working on it at your leisure. All right?
Okay.
All right. Cool beans.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you guys for coming. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you later. All right?
Alrighty.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.